We have a lot of people in the audience here who are thinking that one day they might want to grow up to follow in your footsteps. What kind of advice can you give our students who are just coming out of the entrepreneurship program, they're just rolling up their sleeves, they're trying to figure out what opportunity to pursue? Look back at where you were 20 years ago. What advice can you pass on?
Success is always about relationships, first of all. It doesn't matter how good your idea is, how smart you are, how hard you're willing to work. So much of success comes down to your ability to genuinely form strong relationships. There have been an incredible number of people who have helped me along my path with the businesses that I've built, and I look back at what made things successful. Was it that we really had the better product, or that we worked harder than our competition, or that it was always about the people, both on my teams and the people that I interacted with all the time. So I would say that one of the key things you want to be doing is just whenever you can find an exceptional person, stay in touch with that person. I was very lucky early in my career to run into a fellow named Dick Auchinleck. And Dick he was started off as a chemical engineer at Gulf Petroleum. He ended up as CEO of Gulf and then sold Gulf to ConocoPhillips for an unbelievable amount of money for the shareholders. And now he's on the board of ConocoPhillips Global. And I just feel very fortunate to count him as a friend. He was actually vice chairman at my company, Sonic Mobility. He's just been an incredible mentor and friend. When I find or have the good fortune to run into people like that, you hang on to them and you keep talking to them and you make those relationships work, and they will help you, take your crazy ideas and make them not so crazy.
I think that's great advice. And I know we're going to open it up to student questions in just a minute, but I really wanted to end with this question, which I find my students ask often. You talked earlier today about the ups and the downs, the good days and the bad days. You also talked about how when it's a bad day, you don't necessarily know, is this the last bad day before the pivot or before we close the door? How do you personally still deal with your bad days? Even though you have lots of external success, I think your family life is a great success, your personal accomplishments are great, but you still get kicked in the stomach once in a while. You still have things not go the way you want. What advice can you give to them today from your perspective on dealing with those bad days?
Good question. And persistence so after relationships, persistence is going to be the thing that will get you through, because you will have many bad days. And when you have those bad days, remember that you're going to have great days too.
So when you have those bad days, always remember the good ones, yeah?
And that there will be more good ones in the future, but you don't quit. You don't hang up the gloves. You don't walk away. The entrepreneurs who succeed go through devastatingly low times, but they don't quit. And I think that's been the lesson if you still believe in the market you're moving into, in the product you're creating, and in the team that you're creating it with, then even when the times get tough, you keep on going and you be grateful for that great team. You be grateful for that great market opportunity. Here's a perfect example. My new venture, AdVenue. 2 weeks ago, I had all these great meetings with record labels and artists who were loving what we were doing and wanting to get involved. And then for a week, it went quiet. And it's like everything just stalled out and it stopped. And it's very easy to get down when all of a sudden it feels like you've lost your momentum. But then literally on Thursday and Friday last week, Interscope Records came on board and Epitaph Records came on board, and it all started to line up and get moving again. And I just remembered, that's right, that was just a bump in the road. It was a lull, and lulls will happen, and you can't let it defeat you psychologically.